Hi guys, this is the monthly check-in. Today is June 1st, Sunday. So I'm going to show you what I made all for the month of May. Now, I was organizing my yarn stuff, so I was able to finish up some whips. So about 5 of these actually got done because they were whips, started from previous months. And then my sweater that I did took me roughly a week and a half to 2 weeks to do because, full-time job and all. And plus the sweaters to take a bit. But let's get going. We'll start with the hats. So this set of hats was some of the whips that I did. So this was meant to be from St. Patty's. So it's just a regular beanie. And then I did a cat ear beanie. This one I made with a 5mm hook. So it's a little short. I did the same pattern but with a 6, so it comes out a little bigger. And then this is my first ruffle hat that I made. I attempted to do a double strand to make it thicker with an 8mm. And this was one of my first ones, so I did not gauge the head right. So this sits a little big on the head. It's still cute though. And I only did 2 rows of ruffles because this is one of those whips that I had that I was on the 3rd row. But ruffles take a really long time. And since this top part isn't perfect, I decided to go ahead and end it at the 2 rows just to make it a completed project. And it's still cute. It's just not what I wanted. And I was over it at that point. And then actually last night, I was working on a new pattern. So I'm working on possibly putting out my own patterns. So I was doing some research trying to find like items that have already been put out, which is kind of hard, because I don't want to make a pattern that somebody else has already made. But it's also kind of hard whenever you're making something that you didn't use the pattern for. So in the future, if you ever see any of my patterns and you're like, oh, hey, that's so-and-so's pattern from 5 years ago, let me know. And then I guess I'll just take it down and not sell it. Because that's my goal, is to put it up and maybe sell it for $1 or $2. Because make it something cheap. But some people like the written form, some people like the tutorial. So I plan to do patterns with a tutorial and a written pattern. That way if you're a visual learner, you've got the visual. And if you're not, you've got the written. But so I was working on creating my own hat pattern. And it's very similar to what I've seen, but I haven't seen one exactly like it, so we're gonna maybe try it. But okay, right here. So I did 2 different sizes because I'm working on it. It's a chunky beanie. And I will say also, why am I working on a sweater and chunky beanies in May? I don't know. The mood strikes. You just make stuff. But this is the one with the chunky beanie, and this is the more oversized fit. So there's a little room, it's a little looser. So I figured this one's probably better for guys and girls with a lot of hair, you have that curly hair and stuff. And then I made this one more of what I would consider a teenager regular size. I'm not sure what to label it as, but it definitely fits more snug, and it stretches, but it fits more snug. And these are made with chunky 5-weight yarn, 5-6 weight, I think. This one was a 5. These other 2 are 6, because these are the respun. And then this one is the loops and thread. Chunky, or prism, I think it's prism or charisma, something like that. I got the label somewhere. But this one's a little looser, because it's a 5-weight instead of a 6. But this is more and I think they turn out really cute. And they're pretty easy to make, and then these beanies took me an hour to make, and that includes their weaving in the ends, getting started. And I was trying not to move too fast because I actually want to try to make, the goal is basically once you get to making these, if you go at a moderate speed, you should be able to make it in an hour, hour and a half. And then if you're really fast, probably 30, 45 minutes. But those are the ones that I did all these yesterday actually, because I was working on the pattern. and trying to see. Also, I don't know if I just want to do a tutorial or do a written, because I don't know. Like I said, I don't think that this pattern's out, but it seems, I don't know, sometimes this stuff just seems so simple that I'm like, somebody else had to have come up with it. And I don't want to make money off of something that somebody else has come up with. But then again, crochet is one of those things that everybody's basically piggybacking off of somebody in some way, shape, or form. Because like this bottom row here, or a couple rows, is the front post, back post ribbing, because I prefer to do that instead of the back loop only rib. And I actually got that idea from Chibi Wee Crochet. Like that idea came from the hat that she designed, which had the granny clusters in it. And that one's super cute. So I got the idea from that, and then I started making these on my own. So I don't know. I'll do a little more research just to make sure I'm not stepping anybody's toes. But I may just write it up anyway, just so that way those are my friends that know how to crochet and they're trying to figure out how to do it. At least I have that available to give to them. But those are the hats that I made. So we're going to move on, I think, to the bags. I made 2 bags. And then both of these were whips that I finished. So we've got this key lime market bag. Super cute. And this one, oh my God, Stephanie Zed, I think that's her name. I'll have to try to find it and link at the bottom. But Stephanie Zed is the one, this is where I got the design for this from. So, and I tweak it a little bit because I also follow Kelsey, Passionate Kelsey, and she does things a little different, but I only do, I think they do 35 rows of this. I only do 25. I make it a smaller bag, and then everything else I follow. And then I went ahead and made myself a little drawstring backpack. So this is it's a little small thing. It's not very big. I made this with the Dollar Tree yarn, the cotton yarn, and I believe it used up 2.5 or 3. This was one of the whips, so I'm not 100% certain how many it used up. I do know I used one color for this and then one color for this, obviously. But I did not start a new skein of yarn, but it was a pretty full skein of yarn when I was finishing up. And when I finished up, I did like this much here, and I did the straps. But it turned out really cute. And I also thought of, I don't know. So I guess because I kind of did this, like the base of this bag, I watched a tutorial for it, but everything else, like the straps and this top part, I did myself. So I guess if you're interested, let me know if you would like to have this as a tutorial or a written pattern. I'm going to be making some bigger sizes soon because the straps were a last minute idea. But obviously I feel like this is for a teenager or a kid because the bag is pretty small. But I wanted to make the straps big enough in the future to where you can do it like this if you want to. Or you can do it over your back. So I think I'm going to make the straps a little longer and then the bag a little bigger. So that's another next project coming up. And also now let's move on to this sweater. Now this sweater, I definitely freehanded this. I'm sure there are definitely better designs, but I'm not good at following patterns. I get annoyed very easily, and I just like the idea of freehanding crochet more than I like to follow a written pattern. I can follow a tutorial maybe on like key parts, but I just like freehanding more. So this one definitely, parts of it, I can see that there could be improvements, but I am extremely happy with the fact that it is my first sweater and then also like full-on sweater, because I've made cardigans, a bunch of them, and then I made that granny square sweater, I guess, but it's a raglan style sweater, so I guess I should phrase that a little different. So it's my first raglan style clothing sweater, because I also did a poncho in raglan style, which that was first technically in the raglan, but sweater wise this one's first. But I really like it. I went to Joann's, my heart breaks. I went to Joann's for the last time, and I guess it was for the last time. I wasn't meaning it to be the last time. I meant to go again before they closed, but mine just closed I think yesterday or the day before. And I picked up a bunch of Sage, Heather, and Big Twist. So this is a Big Twist sweater. So these were all, so I'm making this the back. And I'm sure my eye picks up on it right away. Yours might too, where there's like this line here and then line here. And that's because I did this in the round. And these were my start and ends of the rows and stuff. And then this is where this row is here like this because I flipped it around and restructured what I was doing. So it made a line, which I didn't expect that line to happen. I kind of expected that one, but I still think it's super cute. So I framed this one as the back and then this one as the front, because on the front, you can see that line, but you can't see the diagonal one. So this one's more the front, but it's raglan. I did, oh my God, I made notes of like what I did, but I went ahead and did my chain and then worked down and then connected like you're supposed to in a raglan style. And then later I added the ribbing, and I did 2 rows up here of front post, back post. And then I did my sleeves, and then I did my decrease rows in my single crochet, and I changed, apparently I missed one. I thought I tied all my loose ends, or my ends in. When I got to the sleeve part, like I used a 6 for all of this. And then when I got to the cuff, I used a 5. So when I get to the cuff, I always downsize my hook. And then I did 4 rows. Was it 4? Yeah. 4 rows of single crochet. So the first row is, it starts out with basically doing a decrease every 3. And then the next row is every 2. And then the next row is every other. And then my last one, I do a final row of full single crochet. And then go into my cuff of the front post, back post. So I did, I think this is what, 1, 2, yeah, 3 rows here. So I did a row of double crochet, followed by the 2 rows of front post, back post. And then I did not finish it off with a single crochet because I didn't want to make this too tight around here. Because this is a little tighter, but I made it tight on purpose because over time it loosens up. So I did that on purpose. And then I did the same thing on the bottom. I think this one, I did what? 1, 2, 3. I did 4 rows. So I did 4 rows at the bottom. And then there's the same thing on the other side. And I'm excited to actually wear this whenever it comes time to wear sweaters. Because I made this just for me. And which is one of the reasons why I'm not real bummed about how, if you look at it, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I see stuff right away because it's my work and you always see the critical part, but I'm okay with that being there because I'm fine with it, and I'm just happy that it was out of my own head. Like, I made this for my brain, in my hands, and stuff like that is just so exciting. That's one of the reasons why I love crochet, is you make things, and you just, what you make in your head sometimes comes out the way you expect, like what you see, because everything on this is what I expected. Except for that line there. That's the only thing that didn't come out the way I expected or wanted to. So I'm just really happy, and it's really soft. It's a big twist. I'm really sad that I won't be able to buy a big twist anymore. So I'm going to be switching to probably loops and threads from Michael's because because we don't do Hobby Lobby in this household. I'll just leave it at that. And then my first poncho. This is where I got the idea because she did the poncho in a raglan style, and that's how I actually started to understand, because I did a tutorial. Oh my God, what's her name? It's Hannah something. She's really awesome. I watch a lot of her videos, and I do learn a lot, even if I don't actually do her her patterns. Like, I learn a lot from them. And so this is super cute. I did, I would recommend going, I'll link her below, and I'll put her her stuff below because you should watch her video because she has a tutorial for this. But it's really simple. And it was really easy to make, and I just switched up colors to make some rows. And I used loops and threads for Michael's yarn for this, and it's actually pretty soft. So I'm also excited to wear this because this is my favorite color, teal. So this is also just for me. And then finish up the month. This is one of the things that I made at the beginning of the month. So I was trying to make, let me see if I can put it on. So this is one of those like cowl scarf thingies that let me take this off so I don't. I made it a little too small. I think my chain needs to be bigger. but I like the idea of it. So I definitely am going to have to make more. Because basically, I just made a shawl. So I need to make this, I feel like this needs to be a little bigger, right? Well, I guess this is all right. But I need to make this a little bigger, I think. And then this part, I feel like needs to be a little looser. Because the goal is I want it to be something that you can put like over your head and do that. So when it's cold outside, like you have all that, and then you put your coat on, and then this protects your whole neck area. And then you can tuck this down here if you want, like protect your ears. So this turned out really cute. It's just a little snug. I feel like it's more of like maybe a medium or for like teenagers. But that was one of the first things that I finished up this month. And I did the shawl. And then back here in the back, I connected them and then started working in the round. And then did double crochets up to a point, and then started doing the granny stitch clusters, and then finished with a single crochet. And that's it. Like, that's all there is to it. So that is all I made this month. And I will connect for the poncho below, and for this market bag, I will try to connect Stephanie's Zed below, because those are the two. Yeah, I would recommend following them. They have some great tutorials if you're trying to learn to make anything, and honestly, they're pretty good videos. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful June, and we will check in at the beginning of next month. Have a great day.